Maybe I feel like I have started a diaspora war on TikTok. So I'm coming to make a follow-up video about a video that I made last week in response to some content creator named Tabitha's video about the Essence Fest. And basically I was just talking about how I just felt that, a lot of the Black American people need to stop going around social media and talking or complaining about, how this year's Essence Fest had a lot of African and Caribbean culture, because basically all that's doing is tearing down our unity, dividing us, and just spoke on a few things as far as how a lot of our African American culture is influenced by African culture, and we're all one and things like that. And when I tell you, I got attacked from left to right and still getting attacked under the same post that I have, just from a specific group, FBA, maybe ADOS, something like that. Some people call foundational Black Americans, who basically feel that Black Americans did not come from Africa, that they are indigenous to America, which I would like somebody to further explain, because when I tried to do some research about the group, it was just like a whole bunch of YouTube videos popping up. I didn't see any official site or anything like that, or it seems to be where these people believe that they are not associated with Africa, they don't want anything to do with Africa, and things of that nature. Now, I don't know if everyone specifically thinks like this, but I know the ones that were speaking to me thought like this. They were calling me a tether because I am Black American and Nigerian. My dad's Nigerian, my mom's Black American. I was born in New Orleans, grew up here in America. I visited Africa a few times, but I've never lived there. And many of them were telling me that I need to go back to Africa, that I'm a tether. I was told that I was an Akata. For those who don't know, the word Akata, it has a lot of various different interpretations. Basically, it's a word that's used, a derogatory word used by some Africans to point out Black Americans, which is very ignorant. I don't agree with it. And yeah, on that one. But there were just many other comments, basically a lot of Black people saying that, Africans were trying to colonize them, that they had to protect their culture from Black Americans, they had to protect their culture from African people. African people were, calling them, they claim, a lot of Black Americans were saying that a lot of African people called them like lazy, and that they, didn't like to work, they were dumb, unintelligent, things like that. And I had never, prior to this, known that there were a lot of Black Americans who felt like that. Like, I know just growing up and being, Nigerian American, I got called some names in school, like African booty scratcher, or, they made fun of my last name, or, would say like some insensitive things about Africa, but that was as far as it went. I really felt like there has been a lot of progression with Black American people in the recent, starting in the 2010s till now, just incorporating more African culture, it being more so, the technology age where you can actually research and answer a lot of the questions, and they have realized that a lot of things they learned about Africa were myths and things of that nature. Ask any girl who's wearing braids, they've gone to an African braiding place. So many people are eating, Nigerian food on the internet. So many people are participating in Dirty December, going to Nigeria and Ghana, participating in the activities over there. So many women are marrying a lot of Nigerian men more so often nowadays. So I feel like there is a lot of bridging of the cultures, but I just didn't know that there was like such a subset group of people who had so many issues with, Black Americans had so many issues with Africans. But I would be remiss to say that there are Africans that have negative viewpoints of Black Americans. I have heard it with my own ears. I have seen it. So I am not in any way saying that Africans who say negative things about Black Americans should not be held accountable. at all. So I don't want anyone thinking that, but it was just quite disheartening to see so many people just jumping to, being so divisive and feeling like we need to go back to Africa or they need to be separated from other black people versus uniting, trying to come together, grow together, create businesses, make money together, and elevate. Make their own. Don't have to sit at the next man's table. Make their own table and try to come together. I honestly feel like just uniting in any kind of way, like as far as with the Essence Fest, that being a African woman and that being an African man who's over it, that's just showing strength. That's just showing elevation. Black women should be, that's an accomplishment for black women. That's an accomplishment for black men. Having somebody in power over a black magazine, regardless it's of a black American magazine, over a black magazine, and creating and coming forth with great ideas to do at the Essence Fest for 2025. So it was just really disheartening for me to see a lot of these comments and to know that there's so much work that we have to do as a community, and to uplift each other and to continue to try to strive to get better in the future, especially in these global times, political times, and things like that. For me to know that there's so much division amongst black people in the community, it's really sad, and it is very telling as to why certain things are the way they are. And someone got mad at me in the comments when I said that this is the reason that a lot of times we are continue to stay at the same level we are in society. And they got upset and was like, look how she is thinking about us or talking about us. You can tell she's a tether or immigrant or whatever they were trying to call me. And I'm like, no, it's no disrespect, but it's just like statistics show that people from other groups can come together, come to this land, come together, and they can create businesses and organizations and elevate and rise. And other groups of people who obviously had a better start than we've had in this country, who are in power, will still work together even if they don't like each other, and create things and continue to stay at the top. But what I was trying to say is that it doesn't even matter if it's a black or African that can come together. It's black on black people that can't come together, because a lot of times we have the mentality of like the next man coming up, I gotta be on top of him and I can't let him see me sweat, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my own thing, and I'm not gonna tell him what I'm doing, and I'm gonna gatekeep, and so we won't never come together and won't progress together and grow together. And that's the whole point I was trying to say, as far as us working together to be united so we can create these tables, do better for the next generations to come. And the video was not meant to divide, but actually to unite people. So I just wanted to come share that with you all, and y'all can also tell me what y'all think. Try to be positive in the comments, because the negative people, I'm really gonna delete y'all. But if there's anybody in FBA or ADS who can explain what y'all's stance is in an objective way, not be angry or try to fight or be violent in the comments, so we can understand each other, and maybe I could objectively look at what you all say, think, or maybe even get some books or some sort of written material or digital material to understand what you all are talking about, because I still don't get it. But thank y'all for watching. Have a good one.